Thanks, Johnny's. We here at SBU-TV are looking back at the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and we're remembering specifically Father Michael Judge, who was the first certified death of the attack. He was the fire department chaplain of New York City, a Franciscan friar, and a graduate of St. Bonaventure, class of '57. We talked to Brother Kevin, a friar here, who brought Father Michael's character to life. SBU-TV's Jordan Mejia and I bring you this story. We do want to warn you, some of these images may be hard to watch. And this new program is benefited by the close proximity to the Seneca Nation, just 20 miles down the road. A mother that I talked to is still skeptical about just how effective the Pfizer vaccine is, but no matter what, she is going to line up her daughter to get vaccinated whenever she can. Starting now, the university only wants to test people with severe signs of COVID, like loss of taste.
He had to be there. He had to be there because that's where God wanted him to go. He died as he lived, right out in the front. So if people were in trouble or in need, he would go there, and he went to a lot of places that other people wouldn't go. That carried through to the day after September 11th in the New York Times and other papers, not on the front page, but opened up, and as the firemen were carrying Michael out of the building, and he was dead, and they talked about it sort of as a modern Pietà, which is Michelangelo's statue of Mary holding crucified Jesus, and all I could think of was, he's dead, and he jumped in front of a camera again. How did he do that? And so those kind of things made it a little less painful, in some ways a little more human. His legacy to me was trust God and then go into a situation. Show up and be there in the middle of all that's going on, just to be a presence, really is following in the footsteps, following the gospel. One thing Michael said to me was kind of, hey kid, if you do this life right, you'll never be bored. And he was right.
This week, St. Bonaventure University announced the Native American and Indigenous Studies minor to be started next semester.
Right now, what's involved is a foundational class that will be taught by a member of the Seneca Nation.
Justin Schapp will be the instructor of the foundational course in the spring.
So you have these larger conversations occurring, and it's natural for those conversations to kind of turn inward and have people starting to say, well, how are we locally understanding our relationships to Indigenous peoples, and who are they and who are we?
And this new program is benefited by the close proximity to the Seneca Nation, just 20 miles down the road.
This puts St. Bonaventure in that elite kind of category.
The program director felt a personal calling to start this minor.
And I've grown to appreciate what kind of contribution they could make. Not only that, the history of interactions and the kind of basically nearly genocide that Westerners committed towards these people. So in a way, it's a matter of justice for me and for people like me.
The program will also offer classes on the Seneca language to students, something that Dr. Bitchkov has been learning for a year and a half.
It is very fluid, and it's reflective of a totally different philosophy with no kind of settled sort of substances, but everything being kind of in relation to each other and everything being very dynamic.
Indigenous Studies hopes to help students take what they learn beyond the classroom.
So if you decide to go, and even if it's just for enjoyment and you want to know a little bit more, and it's just a curiosity of education, so just taking this class, it'll help you become potentially a world citizen.
For SBU-TV, I'm Martone. This week, Pfizer releasing a statement saying that their vaccine is safe and effective for children ages 5 to 11. I spoke with Dr. Kevin Watkins about how Cattaraugus County plans to roll out the vaccine to children, if approved.
I already have agreements with schools to come to schools to vaccinate. We have done this with the 12 to 18 years of age. We've been in all of our schools in Cattaraugus County, and we vaccinated school children there. We will continue that process once FDA and CDC approves the vaccination of the 5 to 11-year-old age group.
A mother that I talked to is still skeptical about just how effective the Pfizer vaccine is, but no matter what, she is going to line up her daughter to get vaccinated whenever she can.
Everyone wants to back to normal, right? We cannot wait like so long. So I don't think this is like the officially approved vaccine, but yeah, so if it's approved, then so I will still take her to vaccinate. Yeah.
We'll participate in a statewide children's vaccine program and campaign to encourage parents to consider allowing their children to become vaccinated against COVID-19. And we will do all we can with our health educators to also put the word out about the effectiveness and the safety of the vaccine.
For SBU-TV, I'm Kurt Martone. 18 months into the pandemic, and St. Bonaventure University finally feels safe to reduce testing requirements.
Trying to get people to recognize that not everything is COVID.
The Wellness Center and the local Wellnow have been inundated with students asking for COVID tests.
We're asking people to do an assessment of how they feel, maybe trust their body, kind of like the way they did 3 years ago, to think, you know, maybe this is just a cold.
Starting now, the university only wants to test people with severe signs of COVID, like loss of taste.
It's a shift in energy towards taking care of the whole campus community. But no, in terms of the faculty, what the faculty were most concerned about was masking in class. We obviously satisfied that when we complied with the HERO Act.
With masks now mandated again in classrooms, the school expects to see cases of the cold and flu slowly drop down, much like last year.
We think all the evidence suggested that the flu fell off the cliff. There was very little influenza last year nationwide because of, and the only thing they could attach that to was the fact that everybody was wearing masks in public.
For SBU-TV, I'm Kurt Martone. Over last year's hunting season, hunters in Cattaraugus County killed 47 bears. And in a community surrounded by woods, I spoke with a big game biologist to find out more.
We're using hunting as a tool to manage the overall bear population and to address population growth. If you were to go north towards Rochester, 15 years ago, there was no bear hunting season in that area. But as bears started to move northward in their geographic distribution, we started to open up hunting.
Now, about 8,000 bears live in New York, and the bear population has steadily been increasing. Scientists look at the number of bears killed in an area, and they then estimate whether the density of the bears has gone up or down.
One of the secondary benefits that happens with hunting is that any negative interactions with people and bears, so when a bear perceives an interaction with person as a negative, from our perspective, that's a good thing, right? You're teaching bears that interactions with people are not good.
The defenders of wildlife want people to coexist with bears, to lock up food, and to be wary of known bear areas. And to minimize your contact with bears, the state encourages you to lock up food and to not leave garbage and bird feeders in easily accessible places. With SBU-TV, I'm Kurt Martone.